KMJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment as the Dallas Cowboys defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 26-20 on Sunday Night Football. And man, had the Bucs winning this game. I thought the Bucs, coming off of their 5-game win streak where they beat the Chiefs and they beat the Seahawks, that they could even go to Dallas and get a huge victory. But man, after their loss last week, Dallas has responded in a big way. And you just have to sit back and just say, wow, this team is just really, really, really good. And, for some reason, a lot of Cowboy fans out there hate me, but you have to give me some slack, right? Because what we are seeing is so unprecedented. We have no reference for this. We've never seen this before. We may never see it again, to where you have a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back that are now 12-2 and the best team in the NFL. It's never happened before. It's never been seen before. Cowboy fans, we don't hate you. We're not against you. It's never happened before, so we don't know how to respond. So our response is, no, it must. They're going to falter a little bit. And they have, but they're going to lose some games here or there. It's not because we hate you. You guys have an undying, passion for your team, and we love that, but it's just so unprecedented. But you just have to sit back and say, wow. Today, Ezekiel Elliott had his best game of his career, 159 rushing yards. And how wrong was I on Ezekiel Elliott? I was right about a lot of players in this draft. Let's start with that. I was right about Carson Wentz, right about Jared Goff. I said that Carson Wentz was going to be better than Jared Goff, but Carson Wentz wouldn't be that good either. I was right about Ramsey saying he would be good. I was right about Bosa being the best player. He's up there for the best player in the draft. I thought he was going to be the best. He's definitely the best defensive player from the draft. We know that right now. I was right about Dak Prescott. I said he was going to be a starting quarterback in this league. I thought it was going to be in year 2 or 3, but I was right about that. I was right about Vernon Hargreaves not being that great. I was right about Eli Apple being pretty good, better than Vernon Hargreaves. I've been right about a lot. But I've been wrong on Ezekiel Elliott. I said they shouldn't have taken him this high. I had him as a late first rounder, and I wasn't sure if I would take him in the first round because I'm not in love with taking running backs in the first round, and I didn't think he was going to be that impactful. Boo! As this guy just continues to prove me wrong week after week after week, and the guy is just sensational. 159 yards today. He's going to have, at the end of the season, at least 1,700 yards, maybe even 1,800, and possibly breaking Eric Dickerson, I believe, his rookie rushing record for the NFL with over 1,800 yards. And again, this is unprecedented. Well, that's not unprecedented because it's been done before, but not in my lifetime. Or maybe it was in my lifetime, but I don't care. Or I wasn't watching at the time. So anyway, it's incredible. Let's just sit back and say, wow. And then today, Dak Prescott goes 32 of 36, 279 yards. So an 88.9 completion percentage today from Dak Prescott. And I know what a lot of the Cowboy hater fans are going to say, which I am not. They're going to say that Dak Prescott was a game manager and whatnot, but there is some truth to that. But he's like a game manager on steroids, right? Alex Smith wishes he was freaking Dak Prescott. Now, what Dak Prescott does so well, and this is why I would say he's a game manager, but a very good one. Now, don't hate it. I'm saying a very good one. He doesn't turn the ball over at all, and he's very smart in that. Like, you'll see in a third down, multiple times during this game, actually, they would be in the red zone. They'd be in field goal range. On third downs, he would either throw it out of bounds or, take an underneath route, take a check down or whatever, do the right thing and not taking many shots. And I'm not saying that's indicative of a game manager entirely, but, he's had 3 straight games now before this game under 200 yards. This game, he had over 200, clearly, but he didn't have a touchdown today. He's a game manager on steroids, okay? He's a damn good one. Okay? Let's make it. He's like Russell Wilson during his rookie and sophomore campaign. A game manager put on freaking steroids, and a game manager you can win the Super Bowl with. But let's face facts, yeah, he's kind of a game manager, okay? He kind of is. But he makes the right decisions, though, and this is something that a lot of quarterbacks just can't do. A lot of quarterbacks can't do what he does in terms of just not turning the ball over. We've seen Mark Sanchez fail at this. We've seen Tony Romo We've seen him fail at this. We've seen even Phillip Rivers, even Drew Brees, even these great quarterbacks. They can't do it. They see an opening. They try to fit it in. They try to do too much and they lose, and they throw in interceptions and they lose games. So what Dak Prescott is doing, he's just taking on a winning mentality. You can call it game managing, but it's a winning mentality, and that's why Russell Wilson has been so successful, why he continues to go to the playoffs every year. They're very similar, these two, and he was fantastic today. 88.9 completion percentage. And even if you're a complete game manager, like you're in the Alex Smithian range, maybe even in the Andy Dalton range of game managers, even they have never done this. They have never had an 88.9 completion percentage, over 30 throws, NFL record, NFL history record tonight. And you have to give him credit for that, man. The guy's good. And I knew he'd be good, okay? So I can say that. I knew this guy would be good, but Ezekiel Elliott, man, this guy's been absolutely sensational as well. Dez Bryant, it's so interesting with Dez Bryant to me. He had 82 yards today. If you have 82 yards over a 16-game season, you're going to have over 1,000 yards. You're probably going to have over 1,200. But it doesn't seem like he's not as dominant as he used to be. I don't know. Maybe they're not asking him to be. That's kind of goes back to like why I would sort of characterize Dak Prescott as a game manager, because you feel that he should be getting more than what he's getting. But hey, he had 82 yards today. Jason Witten, this guy was killing the Bucs early on, but man, he had a horrible second half, had a terrible fumble, put the game in jeopardy. And I don't know why he's still good. I really don't understand why. He's very tall, right? He's like 6'4", 6'5", and you can see him getting a lot of these catches over the heads of these Bucs linebackers, but he's not very fast. I don't know why guys can't cover him, but he's still, doing his thing. Cole Beasley, whatever. Terrence Williams, whatever. In terms of their defense, the Dallas Cowboys defense, then we'll get to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Sean Lee's still everywhere. I mean, the guy was just striking fear into Doug Martin and Charles Sims from what I was seeing. He completely slowed them down. I think the Bucs run game today really hurt them, or lack thereof, I should say. Byron Jones, this guy's playing incredible as well. Barry Church in his role playing well. Again, he and J.J. Wilcox, when he's healthy, they play well off each other so well. They really cancel each other out in terms of their weaknesses. And also Byron Jones as well. Jeff Heath even got an interception today, for God's sake. You saw this David Irving guy. Who? This David Irving from the 2015 NFL draft, I believe. Or I don't even know if he was drafted. But anyway, this guy came in the end of the game and he just wrecked. And I don't know why I got into this guy, but it goes to show even these small little players, these role players, deep in your bench that you don't really pay attention to, if you can just bring them in the game and they can be motivated for one play, for one drive, for one quarter, they can change the game. And without him, who knows, maybe Tampa Bay goes down the field, scores a touchdown at the end of the game, and they win the game. But this guy was absolutely sensational. Now, I did get pretty freaking annoying at the end of the game because Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels, they have to just go on and on and on and on. They find a storyline and they just keep talking about it. They won't shut up. Al Michaels, oh my gosh, did you see this David Irving? Do you believe in miracles? Yes. I mean, oh my God. And then Chris Collinsworth, man, I gotta tell you, David Irving, this guy came in the game and he's playing great. They're so, God, whatever. Let's move on to Tampa Bay, where I had them winning this game, and it was off with the belief that, hey, they're 5-1 on the road. They're 5 straight games. They've beaten the Seahawks. They've beaten the Chiefs. They can ride their momentum into Dallas. And they didn't at all until the third quarter. I believe in the third quarter, or in halftime, Jameis Winston must have had some sort of speech, or someone had some sort of speech in the locker room, got them riled up. They came out in the third quarter, and they came out guns a-blazing. After being down, what was a 17-6 at halftime, they came out, scored a touchdown, got a stop on the other side, scored another touchdown. We're up at the end of the third quarter to 2017, and I was saying, okay, good. My prediction is looking pretty freaking good right now. But then after that, again, things went back to how they were in the first quarter. They couldn't run the football. Today, Dallas's run defense was just superb. Doug Martin didn't do anything. 16 carries, 42 yards, 2.6 yards per carry, no touchdowns, of course. And he just didn't do anything. Charles Sims couldn't do anything. And, Charles Sims, I don't know if it's just me, but is anyone feeling like he doesn't have the same pop, the same agility, the same acceleration, the same speed you would expect him to have that he's had in the past, that he had, West Virginia, that he had even last year? I think since his injuries, his foot injuries or whatever, he looks a little slower to me. I expect him to have some serious pop, some serious zazz, and I'm not seeing that. I'm sure I'll see it again next year, but I think these injuries have really slowed down Charles Sims. You look at their passing game. A lot of people are going to criticize Jameis Winston if they did not watch the game, and maybe if you did watch the game too. So his final stat line was 17 of 35, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Now, 2 of the interceptions, let's just not even count. Okay, one of them was a Hail Mary at the end of the first half. And the second one was pretty much another Hail Mary. He just threw the ball up on 4th and 12 at the end of the game. So really, we're looking at 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, but that we really need to count here. Although, if we're going to discard those, then maybe we should also discard the touchdown that he threw the first one, because it was thrown up. However, I will not discount that because of this reason. I have seen so many times in my lifetime, where that works in the offensive player's favor. I think it's always more likely the offensive player kind of comes down with that. And the reason being, the defenders usually back there are so shocked that he actually threw the football. They can get up there, and they're not very good at all. That's why they're defenders. And the offensive players can come down with it. So I would count it, but you don't have to. That's fine. In terms of the completion percentage, this is the problem with the Bucs team, and not Winston. Winston did have some inaccurate throws. I'll give you that. He led Mike Evans a little bit too much on a couple of throws, and Cameron Brate, same thing. But the Bucs, they need an underneath guy. It's so evident. It's so clear. It's screaming him in the face. You need a guy underneath. And they signed Josh Huff, formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles, and I would expect him to be on the field being an underneath guy. They need a guy that just comes on there and runs shallow crosses. Dear God, they need someone to run a freaking shallow cross just 3 yards away from Jameis Winston's face. That way he can hit him and let him run and do something. They also did not get the running backs involved in the passing game as they should have today. They had like one failed screen to Charles Sims, but beyond that, they didn't really run any screens. They should have ran more, I felt. They need more help in their short to intermediate passing game. They can move the ball deep in chunks, but man, you got to get a more consistent flow offense right now. And Dirk Cutter, that's on you. I mean, you are the master of this offense, the master of this team. You have to construct a better offensive game plan, because right now it's not good enough. You got to construct something underneath. I know you don't have the talent for it, but Josh Huff, he can do it. And even Mike Evans, he can do it. Mike Evans doesn't just have to be a 15-yard out guy. He can get some stuff within 15 yards. Scheme some shallow crosses for him, some slant routes, for God's sake. You need more stuff underneath. You just keep running these just inconsistent offenses that they're doing. I wasn't a fan of those at all. And we already know, outside of Mike Evans, their receiving core is booty. Cameron Brate, who I did not count under their receiving core, this guy's great. Cameron Brate is great, and I really haven't had a chance to study this guy too much, but he really impressed me today, especially in the third quarter. The great catch he had on the Bucs side of the field, the touchdown that he had. This guy is pretty freaking incredible. He's not just another white boy tight end. This guy's pretty freaking good, and I can't wait to see him continue to develop. I was wrong on this guy. I said earlier in the year he really didn't impress me, but he impressed me today. This guy's pretty good. Okay, this is a piece to build around, but they got to find an underneath wide receiver. If John Ross is available in the draft, there should be no discussion. John Ross, even Mike Williams, and maybe Corey Davis, but you got to take an underneath wide receiver or go sign one, because dear God, you need one. Dear God. Defensively, Jared McCoy with probably the worst game of his career. I don't know what he was doing today. This guy got bottled up by this Cowboys offensive line. And, back to the Cowboys, that offensive line today was just superb. I know Tyron Smith had a holding call, but, he was great today. This whole offensive line just absolutely neutralized this Bucs defense. And, speaking about the Bucs defense now, I don't know where they went. I saw Bucs defense against Seattle, against Kansas City, against New Orleans that was flying all over the place, that was just so intimidating, so good. And I saw hints of that. You saw Robert Ayers blow up a play to Lucky Whitehead. You saw another cornerback blow up a play, but I mean, you just didn't see it enough, man. And they lost their momentum. They lost their good playing ability. Quan Alexander, this guy played great today. Absolutely great. But Levante David, I thought he should have played better. He was neutralized by Ezekiel Elliott on one critical pass rushing play for him. And, ultimately this Bucs defense didn't show up like I thought they would. I thought we were going to look at a low-scoring game here. And that's been their formula. And look at the Bucs scoring 20. They probably should have won this game if the Bucs defense of old showed up. If the Bucs defense from last week or the week before that or the week before that shows up, the Bucs win this game. But this Bucs defense, to me, they blew it. Jameis Winston did what he's been doing for the past couple of weeks. He got them to like 20 points, and he expected the defense to hold them down, but they didn't. And, that was unfortunate for them. But in terms of the playoffs, this hurts. And it hurts because I wonder what are the ramifications of this game as it pertains to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Does this game quench you? You've been hot. Does this game cool you down? Or is it just a bump in the road? Is it just that the Cowboys were just better than you and that next week you're going to come back and you're going to be beating everyone else? I don't know. And, next week you guys go to New Orleans and you need to win that game. I mean, I can't stress how much you need to win that game. And, even if you do, I think now the Falcons probably have the advantage over you in terms of winning this division. So it's now a wild card. And the wild card is still very much alive. You got to win out, though. I mean, it's going to be 10-6 to get in the wild card. You guys will have the advantage over the New York Giants. I've ran a lot of simulations. You guys always beat out the Giants in terms of tiebreakers. So you have the advantage with the New York Giants. The Redskins, they have a tie. And that tie, I think, is going to end up helping them a little bit. They need to win out, but if they do, you're in trouble now. You just can't do anything if they win out. You look at, next week, the week after next week, against Carolina, you should take care of business. I expect you to, but, that's not easy either. So, this Bucs team, I thought they were going to win today. I thought they were going to win out to go to the playoffs, but bumping the road today, it hurts. It hurts a lot. I would expect, though, next week you guys to go to New Orleans and win. If you don't, though, the season is over, but we shall see what happens. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Luckily from this game, although I did get my straight up prediction wrong because I had the Bucs winning this game, I had both of my betting predictions right. I had the under for this game, 46.5. We got 46 today, so that was good. And then I had the Bucs +7. Bucs were Bucs finished +6 today. So we got our money if you bet it with me, and you should have. You missed out today. So there you go. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out.